What's up, everyone, and anyone that's watching? My name's Dennis from Super Power Pros, and today I'm going to be bringing you the first deck profile from OP07 that we're going to do, and it's going to be Rob Lucci. And this new guy, for those of you that don't know, it's when attacking, you trash 2 cards from the top of your deck to give one of your opponent's characters -1 cost for the turn. So helpful for two ways, of course, to make your trash a lot larger for all your effects, and to reduce the cost of a guy to make it easier to KO them by the effects. It's a deck that's very big on control, so if that's your playstyle, you're going to enjoy Rob Lucci a lot. And most deck builds are going to be looking the same, so this is just what I would suggest you go by, and you can just mix up the ratios however you want. And enough blah blah blah. Let's just look at the deck profile. And number one, we've got Spadam. You can't play a deck without Spadam because he's your searcher for the CP9 cards. The deck is majority CP9. We are moving away from the old black ways of using brand new for navies. We don't got that much navies. We've got a couple navies, but not enough. Some of which are Suru. Suru is okay for the Gecko Moria effect. That's pretty much all I play her for, is if you don't find Helmeppo. It's also still just a 2k in hand, which is pretty awesome. And sometimes you need the -2 cost just to finish the job on KOing somebody. Speaking of Helmeppo, just 2 of him, simply for the Gecko Moria effect. And I mean, sometimes you want to do him on play. You can play him with a Brook or something else to knock out something that's rather, kind of big. But we only run 2 of them. You don't need any more than 2 of that, I believe. I've got 2 Brooks. This is a card that I actually want to play at 3, but I'm struggling figuring out my ratios. Maybe you guys can even help me with that afterwards. But I've played this deck a lot in the sim, and it does very well. I'll be taking it to in-person tournaments once OP07 is legal, which should be tomorrow. So yeah, Brook says on play, and when attacking, you give an opponent's character a -1 cost, and you get to kill something with a cost of 0. Very easy to do with your leader effect if you attack with the leader first. And then there's a stage card that lets you go -2 to any character for free all the time. Next up, we've got 2 of Spadine. This Kairos looking guy, Kairos from Just Rosa, he's like his brother. Anyways, he's got a very complicated looking effect, but he's very good for the deck's what I call super combo. It combos with Rebecca, with Lucci, and Gecko Moria. So yeah, a long combo. I'll go into that at the end of the video for those that don't know. But what he does is plays 3 cards with a type of CP at the bottom. Then he plays 1 more CP from the trash as well. So yeah, it looks complicated to do, but there's an easy way to do it with the combo. That includes, of course, Rebecca. We got to play Rebecca at 4 because we want her in the trash later to pick up with Gecko Moria to do your crazy effects. Besides that, great blocker. And if it's in the hand, feel free to discard it as a 1k counter because you're going to be reviving it with Gecko Moria. And of course, it's Rob Lucci, the best CP guy. He just simple effect of bottom decking 3 of your trash, and you KO 2 guys, 1 costing 2, 1 costing 1 or less. So pretty good. Can't go wrong with 4 Luccis. You want to play him off Rebecca's effect with him. We'll go through that later. But yeah, very easy to KO guys because as you see, the leader reduces cost and so many other cards as well. Khalifa, she's a 2k counter, and she can search. She's searchable with Spadam. That's why I play her. And on play, she does a decent effect of drawing 2, trashing 2, build up your trash, fix your hand, and you get to go -2 to a guy. That's something you don't want to play all the time, but sometimes you get a pretty bad hand to start with and you got to play it. Up next, another 2k that's searchable would be the new Kaku. He has a pretty effect that's not so great, honestly. You got to place 2 cards with CP to the bottom of your deck from your trash, and then you just give -3 to a guy. Not worth the 4 cost, but 4/5 stat, so not bad to play if you got nothing better. I use him mostly for a 2k. Another 2k you might want to replace for that would be Hattori. Hattori has a much better effect than Kaku, to be honest. It just gives 2000 power to a Rob Lucci, meaning your character or your leader. And 2000 power plus goes a long way for just 1 cost. So the reason I don't play him yet is because Rebecca can pick Kaku up. She can't pick up him from the trash because he's 1 cost and he's 4. Up next, we've got 4 Kaku. This is a guy that I might want to lower to just 3. And the 3rd card might be Brook. It might be the next card. But Kaku's pretty good. He does the effect of placing 2 cards with CP to KO a guy that is 3 costs less. Reaching your guys to low cost, your opponent's characters to low cost is very easy in this deck, as we'll talk about. There are so many ways to reduce cost on your opponent's characters in this deck. It's not even funny. Up next, I might want to bump this up to 3, but it's going to be Sabo. Very, very good in the mirror match, but very bad against a popular deck like Trafalgar Law. That's why I don't play him too much. But I do want a third. I'll probably take out one Kaku for him, or maybe something else that you guys could tell me would be better. But yeah, Sabo's something you want to play. He's a blocker and he recycles your hand and gets your trash a little larger. And the protection is pretty good. Now for the big boys, we've got Gecko Moria. This is the one that you want to do a long combo with. Since we're already up to Gecko Moria, I'll tell you the best thing you can do with him. So the combo goes like this. You play Gecko Moria. You use him to revive something like Rebecca and Helmeppo. Helmeppo reduce a guy by 3. And Rebecca will then pick up somebody. You're going to pick up Spadime. Spadime to your hand. Play him with the rest of her effect. Then this guy, bottom deck, 3 CPs. Revive a CP. The last CP you would revive would be Rob Lucci. So you get the effects of Helmeppo and Rob Lucci together with Gecko Moria like in the old Sakazuki days, but in addition of having a Rebecca blocker on board. So it's pretty crazy to do. It takes a while to figure out. You have to make sure that you have enough CPs in your trash, so do not just try to throw the combo out willy-nilly because you're going to screw yourself. So definitely pay attention to your trash in this deck. It's very important. Up next, we've got the new Sabo. This is the 8 calls for 9,000 power one. He's a really good stats. And on play, you get to just trash one card from your hand to KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, and another one that's 3 or less. So pretty good, very good against the Law matchup. That's what I really love him for. And again, like I said, you're able to reduce costs so easily in this deck with so many of your cards and effects that it's very easy to knock out big dudes with just Sabo. Up next, I chose to play one of Aisho. I think it's pretty good against the NL matchup because sometimes NL like really does well against this deck and the color black in particular. So having him to just discard 2 random cards from your opponent's hand is pretty good. You can knock out their Yamatos or their aces. That way they get, less momentum on their side. Sometimes it's the only chance you got. And then the secondary effect of reducing cost is pretty good for your KOing abilities as well. So I made room for just one Aisho. Up next, this new Great Boss card, I got 2 Stussies. Stussy is really good. I don't play her at more than this because I feel like something like Sabo is even better at most situations. Sabo is better. But she does KO the big drops for free. But just remember, you need to have something on board like Spadam or some other little guy that you just left there, because you don't want to knock out yourself to do the effect. Otherwise, this is no good. But yeah, I can knock out anything. And I really like her against the color green. So you have Bonnie as well. They play Kid and the 8-drop. So she knocks him out for free. Instead of you having to reduce the cost of the big guy, she just kills it for free, which is pretty nice. So just got to play 2 Stussies. Up next, we've got some events. The new best event of this deck, if you guys remember Great Eruption, that thing is inferior to this new card, Tempest Kick. You get to draw a card, and then if you got 10 more in the trash, you get to give -3 to a guy. That's pretty crazy. And in this deck, it's very easy to give minus cost to guys, and you're going to have an easy time having 10 cards in the trash because of the leader's effect of constantly attacking, and several other cards that increase your trash size, like Sabo, like Khalifa, and just naturally playing the game, you're going to get 10 cards easy. Plus, playing the card by itself, let's say you brick in the beginning, you don't like your hand, I'd rather you just play it than hold on to it forever, because it does give you a free draw. So, again, it makes your trash bigger and gives you a free draw. So, Tempest Kicks for sure. Up next, I chose to play just one of Ice Age. This is something that you might want to play more of, but I thought one is okay because of so much cost reduction effects in this deck that it's pretty easy just to really use something like Tempest Kick over this, but you can't play 5 Tempest Kicks, so I'm playing one of Ice Age. Ice Age is also the free kill. You can do Ice Age and Kaku for 6 down and just basically knock down some dude that costs 8. It's pretty crazy. Or attack with a leader, you're knocking out a guy that costs 9. So one Ice Age I say is okay to play. The last 3 cards would have to be the event. This is Ennie's Lobby, an old card from OP03. This was originally made for the original Lucci, but it works way better with this Lucci. So you just gotta rest the stage because your leader CP, -2 cost to any guy. Very powerful card, very powerful effect. You're gonna always want to see it in your mulligans. I'm playing only 3. You might want to play 4 just to make sure that you absolutely see it. But in some matchups, it's not so important. For example, against Law, I feel like you don't even need this. Most of the guys are already low cost already. You can do something like Tempest Kick. Sabo kills them for free already. Rob Lucci reduces them on attacking. So that's why I feel like 3 is okay, because the rest of you draw you're not going to need. It's also a pretty cool trigger, which is funny if you get to do that for free. So we're just doing 3 of these. Let me organize this mess I made here real quick. Alright guys, so here you have it, all 50 cards in sight for you to look at the ratios. Basically every card here I really want. I'm just would debate on like the ratios pretty much, but everything here is a solid choice to play for the deck. I don't see any reason to not play any of these cards. But it's like, again, like I said, it's just ratios you might want to switch up. Like I've been wanting to play my extra Brook. An extra Brook I would put in for, let's say I would take out one of my 5-drop Kakus. Or maybe you really hate Ice Shot. I know some people don't like the guy, so you can just play an extra big body like Stussy or Sabo. That's definitely a good choice, up to you. But again, I'd want probably one more Sabo just for the drawing effect. I think 3 is probably a good solid number. And if you want to try out Hattery, which is also a new guy that I think is really cool, you can even play him off of Gecko Moria to just hit for stronger. But again, very powerful card over something like Kaku, which kind of is inferior to me with the effect. So maybe I'll try out Hattery as well. So that's a full deck profile, guys. Let me know what you think about the Jaguar King Rob Lucci. Until the next one, peace.